Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another segment of Warm Yogurt on Your Back. I'm Xavier.
And I'm Mr. J.
And we got a rather heated one today. Maybe not heated for he and I, but due to the situation that's going on with mass shootings and whatnot, and everyone gun grabber or staunch Second Amendment people.
Basically, everybody wants to blame everything but what's to actually blame.
Right.
The stupid motherfucker behind the gun.
Right. So, and one thing that actually set off my business partner was a comment that one of my, well, I don't know if he knows this, but one of my family members wrote.
Oh.
And to be fair, this guy he's grandpa, like old grandpa old. And he didn't grow up in a world with video games. That's what a lot of the old heads like to point. That's why I didn't get angry about this. But anyway, he posted that guns aren't the problem. It's the violent video games, which immediately set off Mr. J. But he cooled his fury for this conversation. So, Mr. J, if you would like to take it away and elaborate on why he is so totally and utterly wrong.
Well, like I said, when I commented, I commented that that's the biggest fucking joke that I ever heard, because I don't know, anybody that knows me, and probably most of the people that have seen these videos know that I am an advocate for firearms. I love them. I own them. I don't plan on giving them up anytime soon.
Bathes in them.
And now I grew up in a household that was absolutely terrified of firearms. My mother would not let a firearm anywhere near the property, let alone in the house. And I grew up in the 90s, which was the pinnacle for violent music, movies, and video games.
Marilyn Manson was blamed for Columbine.
I listened to the violent music. I played the violent video games. I watched the violent movies. And to this day, I still haven't shot a fucking place up, okay? You can't blame fucking video games for the stupidity and the poor upbringing of an individual, is my point.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. And keep in mind, this is literally devil's advocate because I do not agree with it. Sorry, Mr. J. I'll cut that out. Still, this stuff, I mean, no matter what anybody says, by the way, we did have gun shootings in schools back in the day. Okay, it was just not en masse, is what it is right now currently. And but I'm willing to look at if there's evidence, say it, what it is, and I think what a lot of old people are doing is they're looking at the rise of violent games like Grand Theft Auto, Fallout, where you shoot somebody in their brains and bones literally splatter everywhere. I think they're just putting two and two together, and they're not taking other things into account. And that doesn't necessarily mean like they're absolutely wrong, but is there a possibility that games could actually be a part, not like causes it, but can be a part of it? Like, there's some people in this world that honestly kill people just to see what it feels like.
With that being said,
I disappointed you, didn't I?
not really. You disappoint me on a regular basis, actually. But with that being said, I could give a little bit towards, yes, it may, but only because it falls back to the parents. Instead of the parents actually taking the time and teaching their children right from wrong, what to do, what not to do, and raising them, spending time with them, doing functional, whatever. That they throw them in front of a TV with a movie in, or throw them in front of a video game, or nowadays they just drop them in front of their tablet or their cell phones and let them go because the kid's occupied and shuts the fuck up and doesn't bother them. You know, so it's not even parents raising their kids. It's pop culture raising fucking kids.
I can't play devil's advocate on that one. I absolutely agree with you.
So the kids don't know any different because pop culture is basically their mother and father. In the movie Airheads, they pointed out it's a generation of kids that are raised by Madonna and Kurt Cobain.
I think
that's what it was. It's just kids got thrown in front of TV and music and said, okay, you're shutting the fuck up. You're leaving me alone. I could go about my business now. Now, not all parents are doing that. There's a lot of parents that are out there that take the time with their children and teach them things and raise them properly and educate them and teach them right from wrong and the morals and all that. But at the same time, there's a huge chunk of children raising children that don't know the first fucking thing about being a parent, but whatever gets the kid to shut up, that's what they go with. So that's the only point that I could come across as agreeing with said individual, but you cannot solely put the fucking blame on media, be it music, movies, video games, whatever. You cannot solely put the blame on it.
Right. I agree with that. I think it's a mishmash of a whole bunch of freaking things. For starters, kids are taught that their feelings matter in schools, that their feelings absolutely matter, for starters. And yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm a father, but in the end, I have a 7-year-old who just goes ballistic when she doesn't get her way. I mean, really ballistic. Not all the time, but once in a great while, she just goes nuts in school, so much that they've had to call us in and whatnot. But I think they're putting these kids in such bubbles, ensuring that they're so fragile that when they step into the real world, which I'm sorry, the school starts to become the real world where people actually disagree with you, people don't like you, people pick on you. That kids, they're not trial through fire, you know, they're not hardened from that reality because they're patted on the head and they're told, oh, your feelings absolutely matter. And then it comes into the next part that I believe, which is if you actually look at the mass shooters that we're aware of thus far, 6 of them were on some type of drugs for anxiety, depression, ring a bell. That makes them go fucking bonkers. And there's a list of all the drugs that these people have been on that they were told when they were little, schools put them on. They talked to the parents believed that these experts, you know, the kid's fidgety, the kid's, you know, he's being a boy and we don't like that. We need him to conform to being nice and calm in class. No, that's not what boys do. So they put drugs in them. And
it's
then
the
they spend
pussification of society as a whole.
Yeah. Well, it's like the Vegas shooter. He had some massive freaking health problems that he was off his meds.
Well, that was a fucking old guy, wasn't it? That wasn't even a kid.
Right.
It was an old guy who probably never even touched a fucking video game, but he shot up a fucking casino.
Yeah.
With a goddamn arsenal.
Yep.
Now, I've been to Vegas. You can't go anywhere in Vegas without seeing some sort of armed security. And, I mean, the shit happens. It's, like I said, it's, I put it into the hands of the person that pulls the trigger.
I'll break that down at the end of this conversation. Another thing I'll add on top of that stuff is you mentioned that the parents, the rate of divorce in this country is out of control because everybody is told that marriage doesn't really matter. And but there are absolute responsible adults who are like, it doesn't matter if we're divorced or together, we'll take care of our kid. Don't get me wrong on that. It's just how things are. But then it comes to the actual problem that I believe is going on with this country, where everybody is now being taught that we can't put up the American flag anymore. You don't stand for the national anthem, things like that. Now, I'm not getting political, but I'm just saying that these kids are no longer being taught to actually respect their country and their fellow man. They're being taught that what they believe is all that matters. And then they go from school to college, and they're taught in college that if you have a friend who even is remotely Republican, it is okay to violently attack them because they disagree with you. These are actual professors that are teaching kids to do this. It's a nonstop crap where, once again, I think these people, like you said, the pussification, everyone is being taught that their opinion matters, that their feelings matter. You don't. Your feelings do not matter.
You know what? And back in our day, we didn't have a problem with gun violence in schools. Why? Because if you got into it with somebody, you beat their ass, your parents were called, and it was called a day.
Now they get arrested.
Now, yeah, you get arrested, you get thrown in jail for assault, your whole fucking life's ruined because you defended yourself against a fucking bully.
Children get kicked out of school because they bring a chewed Pop-Tart that looks like a gun to school.
Right, because they make this gesture.
Yeah, this is an arrestable offense for a child.
That's bullshit. That's right, fuck up a kid's entire fucking life because they were being a fucking kid.
I mean, I fucking played guns, cops and robbers.
We all did.
Army and fucking Indians. We shot each other in the freaking yard with cap guns. And
Yeah.
that's what I think is, while they're trying to create a better society, they're just creating more problems. Like, yeah, I can get where they're coming from, but like anything, like it's like building a video game. When you create something to fix a bug in a game, a whole other set of bugs and problems are created because you fixed the one. I'm not sure there's blame on that one though. Like, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the pussification, but I get it. But at the same time, you're going to create these problems. There will always be a new set of problems. And also, what I can't stand is this fucking standing on the backs of dead children to push an agenda.
Either way.
Yeah, no matter what fucking side you're on. To me, the gun rights debate is simple. It's a right. It's not a debate. We're done. We're done here.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly there.
But the blah, 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 who's he, what's it? You know what? An AR-15 in 2016 was involved in 353 deaths out of 320 plus million people. Handguns is a hell of a lot higher. But no one's calling for that to be banned.
That's because you don't have to use your toe to shoot yourself in the fucking head with a handgun.
Apparently not. And that's the other thing. It's pure agenda, and the trotting out children who, it's terrible what happened to them, but that doesn't make them experts on guns.
Absolutely.
And the Constitution. And that's one thing that always bugs me about politicians is, why do we make policy based on children? For the kids, no. I had this argument with this lady where she's like, I'm tired of the kids dying for this. And she's like, we should try something new. I'm like, try what new? Gun-free zones? Who's responsible for that? It's not Second Amendment, people. Why is it that kids in school are not protected like the president's children?
Well, think about it. Think about it. In society, anything of value is protected with firearms except for the most valuable fucking resource that we have, our children.
Right. And I'm trying to explain to this lady that this is kind of like the abortion debate. I don't like it. Well, I like the Second Amendment, but you don't have to like it. But Roe v. Wade is established law. It is established that people can have abortions. Okay, we all understand this, whether we like it or not? Yes? Okay, now, work within the framework and the template that you have. If it's okay, then what isn't okay? To me, it's the same thing. Second Amendment.
If it ain't fucking broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Second Amendment is established. So work within the framework. The gun that you're trying to ban is not actually the problem. It doesn't matter. But the so on and so forth, the gun mass shooters, that's their favorite weapon. Actually, no. No, it's not. Not even close.
I haven't done the research to find out, but
I have.
I agree.
FBI statistics, CDC statistics, it all comes down to one thing. Taking out suicide from guns, which will happen regardless, you have 5,000 people being killed by guns every year. That includes cops shooting bad guys. Okay? Out of 320 million people. Yes, it's tragic that this happened. Yes, this shouldn't have happened. And at the same time, that's a very low number. A very, very low number. I'm not shitting on, this one death is enough. I agree. But you cannot take people's rights away to make yourself feel better because it will not do any good. 95% of fucking mass shootings, guess when they happen? Guess where they happen? Gun-free zones. No one wants to talk about that. Not one person. And that's insulting because our kids are in those gun-free zones. Which reason why we're on this discussion is because of video games. This silly idea that video games are the cause of all these problems. That me playing Grand Theft Auto, I want to go outside, steal a car from somebody that I don't know, and then run over a hooker and steal her money while shooting up places, and that's somehow going to happen. That's somehow going to be real in my mind. Let me explain this to people out there. There are almost 7 billion people in the world. There are actual evil people in this world who don't care, who don't feel. They don't fucking care. They will kill because they can. No amount of laws is going to stop that. Laws are on the books for a reason, and they get broken all the time. Figure out a new way. This whole attacking video games because you don't play them, you just think that because a timeline is established between mass shootings, school shootings, and fucking the rise of video games. No, that's not a thing. Because you're taking all the other variables out of the account. And you just can't do that. I'm willing to listen to any person who says blah, blah, blah about blah, blah, blah. I'm all for that. I am pro-gun rights. But I work with an established law. It exists. Get over it. Figure out a way to solve the problem within your template. You do not run around and scream, take people's rights away to make yourself feel better at night. And here's the thing that a lot of people are really not getting. At some point, they are going to try to take guns away. Hopefully it's not in our lifetime. but there will be a mass civil war where millions will die. Just so that way people can feel better about themselves. And that's not right.
Nope.
Yeah. So now it's time to talk about the rest of the stuff.
Yeah. You got that out of your system now?
A little bit, yeah. You seem more fiery about it, though, than I did.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's just a big fucking joke every time I hear somebody blame media
But they will always blame it.
for violence.
Yeah.
But
It's like the actual media itself, the mainstream media, they thrive and drool on this stuff. So that way they can bring out their anti-gunners and tell everybody how evil guns are and whatnot. And I had to, like I explained with the...
well, like actually, I just saw a thing that like Grand Theft Auto and a couple other games, they're actually putting a price hike on these type of games to try to deter people from fucking buying.
Which is really stupid.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
It is.
stupid. It's like you're the creator of the games. You're a businessman. Agendas do not fit in a business. Your business is solely to make money. GTA is a loved game by millions of fucking people. There is absolutely no reason for you to try and hamper that.
Right.
You know, come out with a freaking PR person and say, we detest gun violence, so on and so forth. Cool. And the 80 million plus gun owners in America will stand up and say, so do we. We detest gun violence.
Right. But I mean, it's not like the CEOs and project managers of Rockstar games sit around and go, "Hey, let's see what new game we could come out to that would cause a mass shooting so we could get more money."
Right. All right.
Yeah, let's ruin our entire fucking livelihood and our entire company because yeah, we just want a violent video game.
Yeah, and Rockstar, the developers at Rockstar, they're almost identical to freaking South Park. They pick on everybody in their video games, especially GTA. They make fun of Democrats, Republicans, gun grabbers, Second Amendment people, you name it. They run the gamut on making fun of people. They don't have an agenda.
Right. I mean, it's just funny because I mean, people put it on video games and movies and music. Like these people sit around in their fucking living rooms and go, "How can we encourage a fucking mass shooting today?
Yeah.
How is that going to positively affect our business?"
Yes. Now let's get the numbers guy in here so that way he can explain how this and this will get both a mass shooting started and sales up.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? I mean, are you honestly that fucking stupid?
Yeah. Now, I understand that whole, people can go into believe in the military-industrial complex or whatnot, but I don't think there's a gaming industrial complex for creating mass shooting with violent depictions, of things, and it's ridiculous. We can pause that if you want to go ahead and talk.
Yeah, let's give that a pause.